coming through to restream. Stuff coming through to restream.
It's
through to restream. Everybody's doing streaming.
You're going to have to check the audio just to make sure it's all good.
Okay.
Because I didn't.
Well, we've come through to YouTube.
It's come through to YouTube. Thanks for the beer. He did. He checked. It's fine. Maybe.
YouTube is fine.
Hopefully, I haven't got the. Hopefully, I'm not running the mics hot because if I'm running the mics hot, it's going to be really bad. So you got to remember, I adjusted the levels for us to talk, and then put on a 7 decibel pad afterwards. So this could get sketchy. That'll be fine. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
First try.
It'll be fine.
Okay. If this is the worst audio episode ever, it's just like, this is just a throwback to the days when we used to sit around a table.
It is.
And had really good audio because I spent fucking years editing it.
This has bring back so many memories. I was just thinking, the last time we sat around a table was when Chalky was on the podcast.
In here, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, in the table in the middle. That's the last time we had people around the table.
Damn. But
we always used to around the table. Hang on. Hello, I'm TheSuffolkRam.
Skazz.
Welcome to episode 130 of the Randos podcast. And we're back on the table.
Yay!
I missed the table.
Yeah.
I can actually... I forgot what Skazz looked like.
It's true.
It has a beard.
I?
Yeah. Have you not noticed?
Oh, shit.
You've
got a face.
I know.
You're not just this random voice.
I'm Morpheus blob that you hear gnawing in the corner.
It's like, what's that sound? Oh, it's Ram. He's got opinions on a game. What's that about sheep, you dirty bastard?
What's he talking about now? Oh, it's guitar amplifiers again.
Again. Oh, God.
Oh, some Japanese RPG again.
Oh, really? How dare he? Peasant.
What games you want this week? Yes. Oh, right, okay.
Another one? Hey, there's 9 of them now. It's more than that, actually.
So, well, I said evening, everybody. So, games been playing.
Have you been playing something?
I have. Have you not been playing something?
I have, but I've not really given it much of a crack, if I had to be honest. I've played 2 things. Because we did the Mount Massive live stream.
Yeah, Mount Massive.
The slightly not quite a hill institute.
Yeah. Yes.
The slightly aggro institute hill.
Was it Mount Massive, Hill Large, Mound Small?
Yeah, Mount Small.
Small mound, yeah.
Tiny mountain.
Yes. Did you enjoy Outlast?
Did I fuck? That game sucked ass.
It was pretty shit.
In the nicest way possible. The story's fine, right? But the delivery's crap. And just because the game works, the mechanics are fine. Yes, but they're shit. Just because it's functional doesn't mean it's a good game. It's shite.
The game is solid, I'd say. However,
Pong is a solid game. Doesn't make it good.
I know it's got better mechanics than Outlast.
It does, and it has a better story. There are paddles which represent tennis players, and they're playing as fucking great. It's riveting. I think to myself, that's exactly what tennis looks like.
It is.
Well, I think it is. I don't really know what tennis looks like. I just know there's some grunting in there.
Yeah, I don't see it very often, but yeah, it's usually mainly the ladies just seem to run around.
They do, and you're like, wow, this is overly sexual or abusive.
Apparently, I heard.
Apparently, when you grunt, you hit the ball harder.
No,
the ball goes further.
No, apparently I've heard this, that the grunting puts your opponent off.
No.
That's what I heard. So
it puts me off watching the game.
But if you think you're opponent watching the game, it puts their opponent off as well, you see. That's the theory. The grunting.
So what you're saying is
because apparently all the ones who grunt have all trained under one specific type of coach who insists they grunt, because that puts the opponent off. Although I would have thought, after a while, half of the tennis community seemed to grunt. I think you would phase that out after a while.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, if someone said, "Oh, I love you, darling," and then you miss, you're like, "Oh, fucking what the hell?" Or you say, "Fucking gay," and then someone just,
"Oh, look, a wasp!"
What? Grenade! What?
Don't Take cover.
What you're saying is they grunt and they're just hoping they slowly lull their opponent to sleep. Opponent, like it's not a sport, it's just war.
Yeah, they're trying to kill each other. Have you not noticed?
Well, the rate they're going though, I swear.
Can I just say, I want to see tennis now with live grenades.
That'd be great. That'd actually make the fucking game entertaining. Can we have golf with live grenades too, please?
Yeah, George, you hit the ball away from you, don't you? Tennis, it goes towards someone
How
else.
long does a fuse last on a grenade?
About 4 or 5 seconds.
I fucking nailed it, mate. You send these nubbies with their fucking tweed and their fucking, I'm gonna fucking use this club. And they fucking swing. They'd be dead.
I used to play golf.
You fucking.
I used to be part of a golf club. And everything.
You're part of a golf club.
I used to be.
What end? The handle or the fucking the wacky fucking bit?
No,
You're a professional golfer.
I never got as far as getting a handicap, but I imagine it's quite bad.
I was going to say, now you've told me that, you're going to walk out of here with a handicap.
Yeah, but yeah, I used to used to go around the par 3.
In fairness, Zaber's a golfist as well.
Is he?
He's got his golf rackets and that fucking that thing that you put, your fucking
Bag.
yeah, your
This
sack.
technical device called a bag.
Yeah, your sack. Your golfist sack. He's got one of them, and he's got his rackets in there, and
you know what we're going to do now for 24-hour live stream?
fucking Rand Nerds, fucking professional golfers stream.
We're going to have a golf game for that live stream.
In fairness, on one of my vlogs when Zaber was down before we did the 24 hours, we were playing Neo Turf Masters, which is a Neo Geo arcade golf game. Fucking hilarious. Now, Zaber laughed so much. First off, I thought we were both going to have fucking seizures, and we were stone sober as well. Right, so the game must have been great, right? You'd assume the game was amazing.
I just realised putting it on the table is a bad idea.
Yes, it is. So Zaber went to, especially when you put your midget gems on your laptop. I mean, for fuck's sake, he's trying to improve the audio by not rustling his bag, and now he's like, fucking shit.
Yeah, I want to do this, for example.
Oh, headphone users.
But hell, slumped over. Twitching.
Yeah, he decided he'd go home because he'd set up like a little retro arcade dealio for when he had guests around when he went back to Denmark, and he put on Neo Turf Masters. He said it's not the same. It's not the same when he's not here and we're taking the piss, and it's just not the same. In fairness, I was in stitches. I don't know how to golf. I just know you get the crooked stick and you whack the ball and job done.
I used to like playing golf in GTA 5. I got really good at golf in GTA 5.
Oh, did you?
I did. I was constantly under par. And my golfing partner used to swear constantly. Whenever he used to miss, go, fucking shit, fucking shit, fuck shit, you know, fucking shit.
Tourette's?
Yeah, it was marvellous.
Fucking rad.
Absolutely marvellous.
There is actually a game I want to play on Nintendo Switch called Golf Story, which is you ever played like the old school golf games where you have to like give it power?
My only golf game I played prior to GTA 5 and the Wii Golf, was Link's, and this will age it for you, Link's 386.
Ooh.
Now that'll age it for you.
God damn. Well, you know how they normally have like so you literally just have like a power bar and you have to press the button when it gets to a certain point, and then it'll go kind of up and down to say like how much spin you want on it or whatever, or if it even does that. Golf Story is basically like that, but it's got like it's got like an RPG storyline to it as well. So like the idea is that like golf is the sport of this world, and if you're not a professional golf player, then you're nothing basically. And
some people, that's probably true.
Yeah, for sure. I really want to see what it's like though, because there's like mini games where you can clout people that are walking across the course with you.
Oh, marvellous!
So you can just like whack them with a golf ball.
I think you should be able to do something like, on the old SSX Tricky, you could push other snowballs. Wouldn't it be great if there's a golf game where you'd like in between your turn, you could sort of still move around, and while your opponent is sort of teeing up, you could go up and just whack them over the head of the golf club.
That would be ace. You know what I think is really funny? If you were like,
Mortal Kombat / golf.
They're now going. They're now teeing up, right? and you're stood just off to the fucking side, so you just fucking put a ball down, just fucking clout it at him as hard as you fucking can. Or you're on the fucking green, and it's just a battle to see who can get it into the
How
hole first.
about golf combined with clay pigeon shooting, and you have to try and shoot their golf balls out the air?
That would be amazing. It must be done. You heard it here on first on Rare Nerds. Is that going to be a spin on Fear Track there? The golf episode.
Yeah, clay. Clay. No, it'd be plastic golf shooting. That doesn't work. We'll work on the name.
Yeah. Fucking
We'll work on it when we do finally produce Fear Tractor. We'll work on the name for that.
I feel bad because I haven't actually got an audio clip for Fear Tractor on the things. You know when we did Space Barbarian because we were completely off of our faces because we hadn't slept.
Yeah.
I still have the clip where we're all giggling and talking about it. Like I actually cut it and like I named it something like the day Space Barbarian was born. So that is literally my thing. Like, this is when we're awake for so long and we're talking so much shit. We came up with the best film idea in history. God damn it, Brian! Return my calls.
We say we. It was mostly Bard. Credit where credit due. It was mostly Bard who came up with the ideas.
Bless him.
Yeah,
He's the ideas man.
he was. Yeah, he was a man of many ideas. Some strange ideas as well.
Yes, bless him. Bless him.
So anyway, games you've been playing.
Yes.
Outlast. Outlast bad.
Yeah, Outlast was atrocious. Like I say, Outlast would have been okay had the delivery been completely different. It was
too long. Yeah,
way too long.
You could cut at least 2 hours out of Outlast.
How long did we play it for? For about 10, 11 hours?
No, not even that. Actually, our first live stream wasn't even 4 hours.
Oh, really?
Our second was 2 hours 50, so less than 7 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it should have been like a 5 hour game.
Yeah, I reckon I'd have been comfortable with about 4 or 5.
I think trouble with it was is that you found the bits where you felt they just pushed the time. They artificially made it longer.
Yeah.
Like how many fucking keys did I have to go find?
No, I know. I did speak to a few people about the stream, and I said it was funny actually because Ram chose the game. I said by like an hour into the second stream, what to throw the damn control pad. But I agreed. Like I was like, it was fucking atrocious. Oh yeah, mate, you need to go find 3 fuses. There's a fucking so I opened up the thing to get the key, then the key falls down. It's like the game was purposely trolling you the entire time.
Yeah.
And it's just like you didn't need to be so. It didn't have to be such a convoluted mess.
And
just didn't
it
have
wasn't clever. It was,
it.
all the puzzles were just find a key, find a key, find a fuse, find a key. There's nothing clever about them. The only clever puzzle I had was where to go get the sprinkler system going again. That was semi-clever.
But even then, that was
Find a valve and turn it.
yeah.
So its design was not great. Mm-hmm. So I definitely wouldn't be my games of the year. Let me put it that way.
Yeah. So. It's kind of sad, really, considering how popular it was. But then, just because it's popular doesn't necessarily make it good.
No, and if it's like the first time you've experienced a game like that, I could see why it being popular. I mean, let's face it, if you've never played a first-person shooter, if you get given like a shit first-person shooter...
I don't know, though, because I didn't... If Outlast was my first horror game, I would probably have then come away from that saying all horror games were shit. I would never touch another first-person survival horror in my life.
Maybe.
It was not great at all.
There's got to be a reason why people like to know it's bad.
Well,
I mean,
they're idiots.
Yeah, I think the story was badly delivered. It had a lot of potential there, but it got good. Actually, it got good at the last section.
Yeah, well, because it was more logical.
Yeah, that's when. You say that.
Well, reasonably. I mean, like the layout was more.
The room with the stairs behind all the tanks.
Oh yeah, but that was dumb. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, it didn't feel like we were walking around shit tons of aimless corridors. It was a lot more condensed. It was a lot more to the point.
It felt like a place, not like not like a level, not like a Doom level. It felt like an actual place.
Mm-hmm. And what was annoying was we actually looked up maps of Outlast after the stream, and the building layout looked reasonable. But the weird thing was, when I was looking at the maps, because I've checked them again, I was like, it doesn't feel like this was the building at all.
No.
The map doesn't line up with what I remember playing.
No, it didn't feel like a place.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't feel like you because the trouble was also what else didn't help was that there was no variance in it. Every area was the same sort of drab, greeny corridor.
Yeah.
The same, every same type of flooring. It was like they had one texture pack for the whole game.
Yeah.
And it felt
It looked very cheap. It looked very kind of straight out of engine. Like,
I mean, I think the actual graphic-wise for its age weren't too bad. I think the monster design was actually pretty detailed and quite nice for its age. I thought that, as in like
Maybe.
quality, was quite good. But it's just a bit naff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
no, fair. I'll say it. If it was a comic book or something like that, it would have actually been quite interesting. Or an actual full-blown book. But the game was many, many hours too long.
it's a cheesy storyline, and I think if you're going to do a cheesy storyline, embrace it. Don't take it seriously. And it was taking itself seriously.
Yeah.
When the storyline wasn't serious, it was just it was like, oh, with nanomachines did this, blah 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 blah, and all the sirens have gone escaped, and there's a mad preacher there. If it just didn't take itself so seriously, it would be just play with it a bit.
Well, the annoying part was that the story went completely fucking mental. I mean, it was already mental to start with, but it went batshit mental for the last quarter of the game. Like, what the fuck is this about? You've got a completely shite-tastic asylum, then underground there's this really hardcore scientific fucking, whatever. And then there's this random crazy guy rocking around in a wheelchair going, oh yeah, by the way, we've been doing this and this and this and a super high tech. And you're like...
I've had switched game genres. This is
I was like, what the fuck?
It was playing off the Resident Evil vibe, because Resident Evil was always like that. It'd be quite a sort of a normal looking building. Then eventually you get to the underground lab where it's all high tech and stuff. So it's playing on that sort of vibe. And I felt that, again, that was too little too late. And perhaps because we weren't reading all the documents that we're picking up, we just picking them and weren't reading them, perhaps they were building up to it, but nothing really built up to it properly.
Well, then it would have probably helped if the initial documents actually... When we read them, it took us long enough to figure out who the fuck half of them were talking about.
Yeah.
It was like... I just didn't give a fuck. And they were poorly written.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to sit there and read half the shit. Some of them didn't even look... If it was an email, it didn't look like it was an email.
No.
If something was a handwritten memo to some other fuck, it didn't look like a handwritten memo. It looked like, Obra Dinn, or whatever it was.
Yes, Turn to Obra Dinn.
Right? That looked shit. Right at the start. Like, it looked like someone had, MS painted some documents together before we actually got into the game and got onto the ship. That is what the entirety of Outlast makes me think of. Like, some shitty MS fucking paint...
But in Obra Dinn's case, that was its style.
Yeah,
It was deliberately styled like that.
But once Obra Dinn got onto the boat, it was fantastic. Those initial images that looked like someone had spent 2 seconds in MS Paint, they didn't do the rest of the game justice. But in Outlast, that felt like the entire game. They were trying to deliver a story through these documents, and they looked shit. Email addresses didn't make... Look at some fucking...
You're IT people.
You must know how to format a fucking document. So do it. Make it look realistic. Make this story credible, for fuck's sake. Instead, it was like, fucking, I've had a few beers. Let's just go into paint, stick some shit in, and job done.
Documents and stuff, and all comes against which don't follow this rule, but document stuff should be there to either support the story or give some extra background. The main story points, though, you should be able to get or be told without having to scroll through documents, because you can miss documents. And in 12 that stars, you may end up missing a document and not saying what's going on because you've missed one document actually explained that.
Yeah.
Make all the story beats, the important story beats, with characters you meet as you go through the story, make them highlight and tell you what's going on. Let the documents just give extra background, extra fluff.
Yeah.
Deus Ex is a good example of that. There's lots of background information you can find, and some of it's useful. Some of it actually will give you hints to hide, like passwords and so forth. But you don't have to. The main story beats will get told to you. You'll still get the whole story. You'll still get the majority of the story. You're just missing the background stuff off.
Yeah.
and they can play with it as well. They can have there's a guy in one of the bits and desks. There's a guy and he's complaining to the IT department because someone keeps changing his password and changing his desktop wallpaper to like pictures of people doing stuff with animals. And he wasn't me. And he keeps saying to IT department, and he's going on about how disrespectful and he feels that it's disrespecting American farmers. And then you get to the IT department, you find out it's them who's doing it all the time. But that's nothing to do with the story at all. But it's a little bit of background, but it makes the world feel alive. It makes it feel invested. Those didn't. They just felt like they have all this like patient X2719, all this sort of random.
It made sense. It was also
random numbers. Yeah, let's just put random case file 6784592C. So to go to a minister of internal affairs and Project Zabamorph and that sort of stuff.
They were just picking out random words from a fucking medical journal and smushing them together. So it made no fucking sense.
Yeah.
I was just like, I didn't really care. It was just really, really poorly put together.
Yeah.
You didn't get any story if you didn't read the documents. Now, I understand, because someone's going to go, but the whole point of the game is that you're an investigative journalist. Fucking gravy, mate. But at least give me some fucking story. At least force some of the story to be in front of my face. Like, oh, hey, he walked into the room and there's the document. That's the key one. Well, yay!
The bad guy who's chasing us all the time, the exile, we would have no idea who he was or what he was unless you read documents. The only reason I knew is after we played it the first time, so I went on TV Tropes and looked it all up.
See, now, I figured it out partway through the first stream because they mentioned about how he was ripping off parts of his face. And it wasn't until he killed us, I was like, oh, that's the guy they mentioned in one of the first documents we picked up. But it took fucking forever. But I still had no idea who he was, why he was roaming around like a fucking knob end, and why he was just generally giving me a hard time.
Yeah.
But I ain't never playing that again.
No.
The story was neat. When you actually look up the characters and that, they're like, oh, they're actually kind of interesting. You know, like the random doctor that was trying to cut your fucking fingers off and all that stuff. Interesting characters. But not if I have to play an Outlast game.
But then they executed him like a Saturday morning cartoon evil bad guy character.
But then when you read his backstory, that's pretty much how he is.
But yeah, but you can make that. You can adjust that to make you can go both one of either ways. You can make him that sort of madness, but also dark. They went the silly route instead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
the variety of big bads in the game was a little out there. You know, you had the big loafing
Chris.
Yeah, that guy. Mind of a child? Maybe, I don't know.
From what I read afterwards, is that he knows exactly what's going on, and he knows that you're a potential host for the evil creature, and he's trying to kill you so you can't be a host.
Fair that. And then you've got fucking super intelligent, mad fucking doctor. Like the
You're forgetting the naked twins.
Oh yeah, did I?
Yeah, the ones that every time they saw you talked about you in third person, how they're going to chase you down.
Oh yeah, the fucking I'm gonna fucking eat
What happened to them?
They went to the pub.
Must
had
have.
a wank. They did. I'm sure they did something, but
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to them. Didn't we? Oh no, we killed the doctor with the lift, didn't we?
After he got stuck on the bed.
No, it was all bollocks. It was all bollocks. I was like, what are you doing? Like, oh, you know, now we need someone in a wheelchair. Oh, there you go. We'll just stick them in there. Oh, now we've got a super
That was
intelligent.
enough. He just used all the old tropes, isn't it? You walk in a room, there's a wheelchair on its side of its wheel, slowly, still spinning, slowly coming to a stop, like someone just been dragged out of it.
You think to
It's
yourself,
like every horror movie set in a hospital does this.
it was not a good game. Not recommended.
No, not recommended. No, I wouldn't recommend it.
Even though we got it on sale, not recommended.
No, there are so many other games that do it better.
Mm-hmm.
My top two picks, if you want this sort of style game, you know, a sort of survival horror stealth game.
Yeah.
Soma, Alien Isolation.
Yeah.
Top two picks. They hit all similar beats, but they're so much better designed. They feel like proper places you're in, even though they're sci-fi. They feel like a real place. You can use logic to find your way around it. Yes. It's not a series of endless fetch quests. It's also stressful in the good way. There's a
tense.
there's
tense.
a timeline between there's timeline that's good, that's a bad word. There's a fine line between tense, which is good, which makes the game enjoyable, because when you get over, it's like you get that little adrenaline rush of whew, made it through that. But tense can very quickly go into frustration.
Yeah.
So the camera mechanic, where you have batteries that run out of power as you go along, you have to change them.
So annoying.
It was meant to be tense, but after I think about a few minutes of using it, it got into this is just fucking frustrating. I'm like, oh,
I mean, what the
fuck
fuck did you buy? Poundland batteries?
Must have done.
Like the fucking £1 for 3 million batteries, because they're fucking the second you plug them in, they run out of
They
power.
must have been first generation LEDs that used a lot of power.
Christ. It's like he was trying to power a fucking full blown regular ass
You know,
bulb.
my dance, he put the whole forward voltage up so high, so you get nice and bright. Everywhere they're just burning the LED, it's just running through batteries so quickly.
Just fucking plug it in and just spark out. It's like, oh, for God's sake, mate.
Anyway,
Just get a lithium battery pack.
yeah,
Don't be a dick.
yeah. That's it. They're probably old zinc batteries, weren't they?
No, it turns out they haven't got any of the battery packs he needs, which is like literally just mushing whatever fits into the thing. It's just going around just like robbing those poor inmates of their fucking TV remote.
I feel actually I've got a better explanation for that. Think about it. Those batteries are all been, when you find them all next to a radio, they've been took out the radio, which means the radio's got a new battery in it. It's still the old batteries.
What a nugget! I had this feeling that the dickhead was.
If you're going to a place like this, you've bought a night vision mode for your camera. Why didn't you bring a pack of batteries with you? They're like $2.99 in the shops.
Well, clearly, is a tight one, ain't he?
Didn't think ahead.
No. Shit journalist.
Yes. Yeah.
No escape plan.
Didn't you stab that she wasn't a journalist? He's a YouTuber.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, we said she's actually a YouTuber who goes into these abandoned buildings for fun. He bought his cheap camcorder and was going to make a video and get a million hits off it and ended up getting mutilated.
That was brilliant.
Yeah.
If I know that happened to most YouTubers, that'd be great.
I've got a list of a few YouTubers, so I wish that would happen to.
Oh dear.
Anyway, games been playing, Skazz.
Yes. Okay, so I've been playing 2. One of them I'm going to go super brief. Well, they're both going to be super brief because I haven't really played a huge amount of them. So one of them, Dauntless.
Dauntless?
Yes, it's a free-to-play Monster Hunter clone. So like, if you've ever played, say, Overwatch by Blizzard, there are companies out there who have made kind of cloney games like Paladins.
Could I just point out, Overwatch is basically a clone of Team Fortress.
Yeah, which it is, yeah. And then you've got, say, Dota 2. League of Legends.
And that's a war you're starting there.
Fucking fight me. Right?
League of Legends, a clone of Dota 2. Wow. Oh.
Look, come at me, bro. Fucking come at me.
Send your hate mail too.
Hey, they're more than welcome to, and I will laugh at every single one. But basically, Dauntless is I don't know, it's a knock of Monster Hunter. The idea being, I don't actually get the story because I didn't really hear much of it, but you travel to a new world for reasons, and it turns out that there are big fucking monsters there, and you have to fight them because why not? Which is basically the story of Monster Hunter World, to be fair. You go to an area, big monsters are there, take your sword and wreck the shit out of them. Now, Monster Hunter World is fair because it's got an offline component, or you can play it single player. Dauntless has scalability, big monsters, it looks kind of pretty, but I can't seem to get into it. For a Monster Hunter fan, it just doesn't feel right to me. Combat solid, crafting seems okay, but I have no idea what I'm doing. Tutorials didn't really seem to tell me anything.
Is this like an alpha release game? This is like
This is a full release. It's now on Epic Store and everything. Now, speaking of alpha release, I did pay about $100 for this game like a year or two ago because I wanted to play it alpha. So I did like the whole Founders thing. I wanted to support it because I like games like Monster Hunter. And then my computer died. I didn't have a machine capable of playing Dauntless, so I left it. And my gods, over time it then went to the Epic Store, so it's now an Epic Store game. Then it went to consoles. To get it to link with the fact that I had a Founders Dauntless account was a fucking joke. Apparently, I could have screwed that up to the point that I wouldn't have been able to keep my Founders information. So, like, you had to go to playdauntless.com/link, and then you put the code in that the game shows on the fucking screen, and or like you have to log in first with your Epic Store account, link it with your Epic Store account. Okay, great. Now the game will continue and ask you, do you have a Dauntless account? If the answer is yes, press this button, go to this page, put in this code. If you fuck it up, you're done at this point.
Why can't you just log in with your...
Who the fuck knows? I don't know why you need to verify all these different fucking codes when you could just go to Epic and log in with your fucking account on the console or whatever. It's dumb. But did that, got it going, and then it didn't give me my Founders stuff. Didn't give it to me. Turns out it was hidden somewhere on the map. I had to go find it. Didn't tell me I had to go and find it. Nowhere on the site told me I had
So it's
to go
not
find
finished?
It is. It is. It's a full release game right now, but nothing was particularly clear. I suppose it would have been clearer if I'd have played and got my Founders kit when the Founders kit was about. You know, if you get what I mean, because I've obviously started playing this like a year later, when everyone's already, you know, played it to death. But it just seems, it feels unfinished. It feels janky. Mechanically, it seems okay, but just nothing seems to be explained to me. How do I craft items? What are half of the things that I pick up on the map? You know, what exactly is it that I'm doing? Can I just hunt these monsters, or do I have to have a quest? What do I do? Combat-wise, it's pretty solid though, and the monsters look cool, and it's pretty solid. Like, but there's no carving like in Monster Hunter. So when you kill a monster, you can actually carve it for materials. I can't figure out how the fuck I make healing items, if I can even make healing items. The game pretty much tells you right off the bat what an enemy's weakness is, and the player base is so fucking anal about equipment that, let's put it this way, I just started playing the game. I'd gone on to, it must have been like Quest 4 or something like that. I didn't have any better gear, but one of the other players was like, gear, you want to change your gear? I was like, I can't. So we get into the hunt, it's just me and this one other guy, and he fucking leaves. It's flat out left. I was like, I had nothing else. There's nothing I can do about it. One bonus I will say to Dauntless, though, over Monster Hunter World, is it's crossplay. So if you've got it on, you know, Xbox, PC, Switch, same account works on everything, as long as you link them using the input code on random website thing. You know, if you were on PC, I was on Switch, and he was on Xbox, we could all have a party together.
That's cool.
We could all use I think you can all use the in-game chat if you're using cross-platform, but that is the one thing I can see that's neat. If you want Monster Hunter for free, it's okay. I mean, it looks kind of okay.
So you say it's free, it's got microtransactions in it.
Yeah.
For cosmetics or for play to win?
I'm going to be honest, I didn't really look into them. But there were plenty of things that said, hey, do you want to buy some things? Do you want to buy this? How about upgrading this? Maybe like more experience or whatever, I don't know. But
and let me guess, it's got some Dauntless points system rather than...
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, actually, yeah. Now you mention it, yeah. But because I was a founder, it had already given me a bucket full of credit or whatever. Anyway, but there was just, I didn't see the point in using it. I don't know what it was actually for. None of this stuff was actually explained for me in the game. So unless, I guess I could have gone to the help menu and dug through all the stuff there, but there was no direct tutorial to tell me what half of this shit was actually for. So I bounced off of it. I will play it again, like if Inky and the Wall or you want to have a go. But it's not a game that I could sit there and play by myself. It's not a game that I want to play by myself. Whereas Monster Hunter World, even though Monster Hunter World rats me off because I'm a classic Monster Hunter player, I'd rather play Monster Hunter World. And Monster Hunter World is cheap. You can buy base game Monster Hunter World for £15, £12 sometimes, and it's a better game. It looks better. It plays better. It's more refined. But it's all right.
Yeah.
Even though I spent all that money on it and it's not great. But Dauntless.
Okay.
It is literally one of those, dodgy clones of random big title that you normally see that you have to pay money for. Like Paladins is to Overwatch and all these other free-to-play games are for other titles. It's okay, but it's not on the same level. It's in the same style as, but not as good as, the big titles that you have to actually pay for. Other game that I've played, I know I didn't explain that very well. I don't care. It's Dauntless. Give it a go. It's free. It doesn't matter. It's multiplayer.
Want a crappy version of Monster Hunter World? Give Dauntless a go.
Yeah, that's it. You never know. I might play it more and grow to like it, but a couple of the streams I play by myself, and one stream I played with Inky. The one I played with Inky was really fun because we had no idea what the fuck we were doing. And the maps seem really small in Dauntless versus Monster Hunter World, but then the other thing is they're open, so it's an entire open map, like in Monster Hunter World. But there's no way to find the monster. It's very much classic Monster Hunter in that sense, where you have to actually find the monster. But classic Monster Hunter, a map is split into zones, numbered zones. So if you're talking to your team, you can say, it's in zone 5. And then everyone bundles over, they check their map and then bundle over to zone 5. In Dauntless, because it's just one huge map, or one map with no load zones or map zones or anything. It's like, it's somewhere over here. I'm going to use my in-game flare. And there's mechanics in there it just feels awkward.
Yeah.
Monster Hunter World did it better. And that's the fly feature thing that literally guides you to the monster. It was annoying as fuck. I didn't like it as a classic Monster Hunter player, but when you're on that kind of map, makes sense. Anyway, next game is the Dark Souls of run and gun shooters, which I personally thought was Contra. Cuphead.
Okay. Cuphead. Okay, yeah.
No, has anyone spoken about Cuphead on the podcast?
We none of us have played it, but we discussed it.
Right. So, Cuphead is I guess it's a run and gun shooter, side-scrolling shooter, where you play as Cuphead or Mugman, I think. The story behind it is that Cuphead and Mugman, they're brothers, they're hanging out, they're having a good time, and all of a sudden the devil opens up a casino, and their grandfather, their father, whoever it is that has been raising them says, look, don't go there, bad shit's gonna happen, just don't. They end up on the wrong side of the tracks, they go into the casino, they're on a winning streak, and all of a sudden the devil turns up and says, how about one more roll? They're on the craps table, right? You're winning, you're honest, you're fucking proper rocking the table. Everyone else around is really bigging them up. You're doing great, you just can't lose, you can't lose. One more roll, you can have everything in my casino. All the money I have. But if you lose, I want your souls. Well, Cuphead's a bit of a nugget, and he's like, yeah, fucking I'm gonna get everything. Well, of course it's been rigged the entire time to put him on a high. He rolls, they lose, and...
Because in its subtitle, something like, don't make a deal with the devil, something like it's subtitle, isn't it?
That's kind of the groove.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think I actually even said that on the streams, like, you never make a fucking deal with the devil. You never bet against the house, man.
Look, Skazz.
Uh,
We all get told that. But let's be honest. If the devil spoke to every person in this country or indeed the world, and said and I'll offer them a deal, I reckon you'd lose about 50% of them at least.
Which is probably good because we're overpopulated at this point. But I don't think the devil's that bad, clearing out the shit.
He gets such a bad rap, the devil, doesn't
Well,
he?
let's be fair. Of the two of them, the devil hasn't written a book. So I'd say that God is like the spiteful girlfriend.
Don't you want to become a priest?
It's true, though. But, yeah, so they lose, and the idea is they have to basically become the devil's debt collectors. They beg for their souls. And the devil basically says, look, loads of other people have done what you've done, and they've fucking legged it. Tell you what. You guys will basically become debt collectors for me. You will go and get these people's souls. If you don't get them by midnight tomorrow, though, you're mine. Out they go into the world, and then this is where Cuphead starts. And so, because we've explained...
Knock at the door.
Really?
Yes. We should now take a small intermission. Small intermission is now going. Apparently, that was food. Hello, Spaniel.
Being a husband sucks.
You mean not content with making you leave a podcast midstream, you've got to get a knife and fork as well? Well, I hope you've told Inky she's ruined the podcast.
Being a husband rocks.
She ordered you ice cream.
Yes. That is exactly what that just was. An order of 2 tons of ice cream.
Which takeaway would just do 2 tubs of ice cream?
You tell me.
Right, okay.
That's like going to a pizza hut and saying, yeah, can you just give me like a little of the pick and mix stuff?
Can I have the salad, please?
It's like going to McDonald's and just asking for a Coke.
Oh, McDonald's got the Grand Big Mac back.
Are they?
Yeah. Oh,
I might have to, you know.
it's like a Big Mac but bigger.
I think I had one like last time they had him.
Yeah. Oh,
Gotta have it.
awesome. Yeah.
I'm such a fat guy.
I know. I'm tempted. I might go if I go after the podcast and get one.
You bastard. Just want to throw out there, this is, completely random note, speaking of being a fat bastard. Somehow, I've almost lost a stone. I'm now
Have you looked at the front garden?
Let's just go find it. I'm now basically the same size as I was back in college. Near enough.
Oh.
Terrifying, really, because I'm still a twiglet.
Yeah, so I'm the same size I was back in college. Fact. Anyway, Cuphead. So,
so
over the top.
where was I?
You then about to go on debt collecting.
Right. So we've talked about the style of Cuphead before, where it's like a
Yeah.
19
So 1930s.
something like that, like a really old school animation.
Yeah. They call it rubber hosing animation.
That's it. Yeah. I couldn't think of the term at the time.
Futurama's an episode like that. Did you know?
No.
Futurama did a special episode. They did 3 different styles. They did rubber hose style animation. They did nature documentary and did anime.
That's bizarre.
And they're called Action Delivery Force in the anime version.
I have to watch that episode. But the graphic style, the art style is, it's nice, but it's an acquired taste.
Yeah.
It's and the music matches the art style. It's very much of the time. Very smooth, very pretty. It's one of the few games I've seen in that style, to be honest with you. That's one of the things that everyone was talking about back in the day.
If they've hit a niche, haven't they? I think it's part of the reason of its popularity. It's just different.
Yes, and the fact that it had brought back the side-scroller and shooter genre. But the thing is, back when it came out, everyone was saying it's, and I've already had a rant about this term, it's the Dark Souls of whatever it is. Dark Souls isn't hard. Learn the fucking patterns and the game is easy. So, Cuphead, I'd heard stories that people struggled getting through the tutorial. The fucking tutorial. The thing that tells you how to jump, how to parry, how to duck, how to shoot. How the fuck do you struggle on an area where you can't die? Right? So, I've launched it up thinking I'm going to get absolutely wrecked. And on my first try on the first level, I got right to the end before I died. Right to the end. I was like, how is this hard? And it's not hard. It's like, enemies are coming down. You can see them. Shoot them. When they fire at you, get out of the way. Learn how the enemies move. Job done. Nothing hard at all. Now, I'll admit, there were a few levels where I have had trouble, and there's a couple of bosses where I've died 5-10 times. Like I'm now up against a sunflower. I'm not hugely into the game. I'm like an hour and a half in, but it's not that the game's hard. It's just I haven't got the pattern down yet. And so all these people complaining how hard the game is. It's like, it's not that the game's hard. It's just you're not paying attention to the game telegraphing what it's doing.
Do you think that that's partly, is it possibly an age thing? Because you're an older gamer. You've grew up playing all these really, back when the phrase Nintendo hard used to go round.
Yeah, sure.
Games that were hard for the sake of hardness. Whereas perhaps a lot of people now who grew up later on, who perhaps grew up with Xboxes.
Yeah, you may be right there.
They've not experienced that type of game, so they're not used to it. So for them, it is a really hard game because they haven't got the comparisons that you have.
You may be right. I mean, I'm one of the handful of people on this planet that actually really enjoys Silver Surfer on the NES, which is, it's not hard, but fuck, man, if you don't learn where the enemies are coming from, you're just going to die over and over and over again.
But isn't it true that any game that people say is hard until you learn how to do it? You could say any game is hard, but once you learn how to do it, it's not that hard.
Which is, yeah, it's basically
same with any. It's
the same with Dark Souls. Right?
It's how quick you pick the. It's how quick you can pick the skill up.
Yeah. So the thing with Cuphead is it's actually really, really, really basic. Standard movement controls, backwards, forwards. The idea is that one stick controls movement and the direction that you shoot. So I don't know, if you want to shoot forwards, you don't have to move at all. You just have to point Cuphead in the direction you want to shoot. Press the shoot button, shoots. If you want to shoot in an up diagonal, you press up in a diagonal, shoots in an up diagonal and runs forwards. If you don't want him to run forwards, bless you. Bless you.
Sorry, core virus. It's all right.
When you don't want him to run, you press the hold button, which is one of the shoulder buttons, and Cuphead will stop running, and you can then kind of aim, in any of the 8 points from where you're standing. There's a parry mechanic, so any pink object, you can jump at it, and then if you press jump again, as you're about to hit it, you parry, and that will give you a special power boost. which has annoyed me actually, because the boss that I'm having trouble with at the moment seems, because I'm shade blind, seems to throw out, I think they might be purple things as well.
So, because I'm colourblind, so I might have the same issue.
Yeah. I think I can parry it, and I jump at it, and I can't, so it knocks health off me, and because you only get 3 hits before you die, before it's game over, it's really fucking awkward trying to figure out which ones I can actually hit. Yeah, pink is for parry. You have a dash, which I never remember that I've got. So you just jump and you press dash, and Cuphead will like dash forwards. There are special powers, and that will change depending on what weapon you pick, because you can buy new weapons with coins that you pick up from the things. You'll have like different things, like a shotgun style attack, a standard single bullet, like a homing shot, and each one will have like different power. So you'll have reasons to use one or the other for different levels, and you can carry 2 of them, I think, and a special attack. You can carry trinkets, like one will give you an extra hit, one will give you the ability to have an invincibility dash, so your dash makes you invincible to an attack, and other fluff, but it's not that hard. No. I can't seem to get over that. It's not that hard. Mechanically, it's very, very, very basic, so I don't understand why people are struggling so much.
But then you've got a lot of experience playing those type of games.
Well, sure.
So that experience makes a difference.
Yeah, yeah. I just don't understand it. Like, if the game tells you right off the bat, like if you parry a pink thing, you get a bonus. If you do this, you get that, and it's like, the game is really, really, it's telling you right off the bat what to do. You see the enemy coming at you. What do you do? Jump at it? How are you dying so much? I've seen people play it, even people my age, and I'm like, I don't understand why you're dying so much. For the first few bosses, I almost got through to the end in the first try.
See, I mean, I'd probably struggle with it because I've never played those side-scrolling shooters that you have.
I'd be interested to see you actually try it.
Yeah, I reckon I'd probably struggle.
But it's pretty. The music's okay. I don't know how I feel to this. I don't know how I feel to it though. It's one of those ones that I should like it because it's a style of game that I do. I mean, I do like it, but I don't think it's as good as people say it is.
Do you think are you suffering a bit of hype vaccination?
Yeah, maybe.
Which a phrase I don't know if anyone's come up before, but I've just come up with it now, and I hope it's new. But because it got so hyped, you saw like you've either you've built up to something
It's never going to live up to my expectations at this point.
Yeah, exactly. It's
same issue I had with Guild Wars 2. We had a friend back in the day who I loved Guild Wars, the original Guild Wars, loved it. It was one of my favourite games of the time. Guild Wars 2's coming out, and everyone's transitioning from WoW to Guild Wars. The like alpha events coming up, and one of my friends would not shut the fuck up about Guild Wars. So by the time it was due to launch, I was already sick of it. I didn't even want to play it. So when I actually sat down and had it go, I was like, it's not really that great. There's nothing wrong with it. It just wasn't that great.
It's been overhyped.
Yeah. Cuphead has basically hit the same thing for me. I was expecting something super hard.
What I think is interesting is Cuphead was very much a storm in the teacup at its time, when it was everywhere on all the gaming sites and all the sort of like user-generated content site for about a couple months. It was everywhere, constantly. It's now all but disappeared.
Mm-hmm. I noticed that when I streamed it on Twitch today. Actually, no one was interested in it at all.
Yeah, it's all but gone.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very much whether a lot of people like you picked it up thinking it was going to be really hard and so forth. Actually, was like, oh, this is not as bad as we thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
Or people just got sick of it, or that style of game just doesn't. It doesn't. People don't stick with it.
It's very quick. Some of the levels are really, really quick. Some of them actually feel so small. You may as well not even play them. Some of them, they are tricky, but some of them feel they're not. I said earlier they're not cheap. It's just because you don't know the patterns. But some of them, I'm like, this is purposely designed just to fuck you up.
Yeah.
Now, you can easily combat it by learning patterns and stuff like that, but just... Really?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I think... Shame that it's fallen out of favour. I had hoped there would be a resurgence of it. I have seen, like, Cuphead clones, coming out, and people jump on them. Like, don't want to play this as a clone of Cuphead. Like, Cuphead's the only game that could ever be a side-scrolling shooter, but...
Yeah.
I think that might be a style of game that should just die. I like it. It's a nice... I like side-scrolling shooters. It's fine, but...
Yeah. I think it's the art style that picked up for... I mean, that's what I found interesting about it, was the art style was so different. And the fact that they'd done a really good version of the art style. It looked like the actual... They'd really spent a lot of time getting it to look like the actual old cartoons, the way the characters moved and bounced around. And they'd sort of... you could believe it being made back then. You could believe it.
Yeah,
they sort of nailed it.
The way they've even got kind of like a film flicker effect on it as you're moving around and stuff as well. So it's pretty neat.
Yeah, there's clearly a labour of love to get that there. That's a lot of effort put into that, and it's clearly they were passionate about it and so forth. That's nice to see. But that's all where my interest dropped off, really.
Yeah.
It's not being a fan of...
It's worth a try. I just don't know if it was worth the hype. As a side-scrolling shooter, it's pretty neat. Mechanically, it's pretty solid. But it's just... I've got nothing else to say about it. I'm gonna play it because I want to know how much harder does it get. Like I said, I'm having a bit of trouble with a few of the enemies, but it's literally just because I haven't learned the... Oh, awesome. I haven't learned the patterns yet. I've just been handed a bottle of Pepsi Max Cherry.
No sugar.
What's wrong with leaving ice cream on the side? Well, that's the point, because it's usually hard.
He wants to drink his ice cream.
That's it.
So Cuphead, meh.
Yeah, it's meh. I mean, everything about it says I should like it.
Yeah.
But I'm worried I'm going to bounce off it. If it doesn't actually live up to that, if the hype doesn't hit, like, if it doesn't get so hard that I snap my control pad, because someone said, oh yeah, mate, this game's going to make you swear loads. It's like, that's alright, because I swear anyway. You know, it's not like this game is making me swear. I'm calling myself dumb because I can see the pattern and I've just gone and pressed the wrong button.
Perhaps it's got, perhaps you've just not hit the difficulty curve yet. Perhaps you're...
I'm hoping that's the case.
You're still quite low down, and next time we speak, you'll go, oh, Cuphead.
Yeah, like rock and bounce and forwards. But,
I should have made that deal.
Yeah. Fucking. It'll be alright.
Yeah. Cool.
Learn the patterns.
Indeed. Well, I've been playing Kona. Kona. I want to call it. It's virtually a walking simulator, but it has got some action bits to it. It's you're doing the puzzle.
Is that the one that starts in the snow?
Yes, it's in Canada.
You go to a shop.
Yes,
right at the start.
Yes,
I've played a bit of that.
Have you? Oh, yes. Cool.
Not a huge amount, mind.
No. So I played it today, start to finish today. Only took about 5.5 hours. Through. It's set in 1970. You are a private investigator. You've been hired by this guy called William Hampson, something like that.
The dead guy.
Dead guy. He's hired you because he's been having some problems. He's an English guy. He's gone to this part of Canada, which is like a sort of very small rural part of Canada.
Idiot went to French Canada.
And he's, French part of Canada. And he's been buying up, and basically he's reopened up the local copper mine. He's been buying up all like business and stuff. And people have been divided, like if they really think he's great, or whether they think he's revitalised industry, or whether they think he's destroying what they had. Particularly as like a local Native American tribe who aren't very happy with the fact he's reopening the copper mine up and that sort of thing. You've been hired because there's been some vandalism going on. He's hired you to try and find out who the vandals are. And even your guy says they're not sure why he's hiring me for. It's a bit extreme, but money's money. I'm going to go take it.
Yeah.
So you drive all the way there, and And on the way there, your car gets wrecked. Someone drives you pushes you off the road. Your car basically gets wrecked. And you have to then go find some heat and heal yourself up and dig your car out the ground, and off you go. Eventually you get to the store and you find him, and he is dead. The general store he's going to meet you at, he is dead. And the game is really a detective/puzzle game. It made me think a lot of actually Return of the Obra Dinn, which we spoke about earlier, in that there's a mystery and you have a journal that's basically blank at the start of the game. It's empty all the way through from start to finish, and you basically fill it in as time goes on. And you can also take photos. You have a Polaroid camera, and if you take photos, it doesn't tell you, and sometimes it'll tell you, take your camera out, take a photo of this. But if you take photos of the right things, they'll turn up in your book.
Sure.
So forth. So you have to investigate. There's some strange goings on in the town. People are being frozen in ice, literally almost like flash frozen, instantly.
Yeah.
So you'll find this body of this person, they're just frozen in mid ice. And if you walk up to them, you get don't say a sequence of their final moments. We've got a trapped spaniel. I won't say a sequence of their final moments, but a little sort of set of vignettes showing them what they were doing shortly before they died. Again, a bit like Return of the Obra Dinn. And yeah, it's primarily a puzzle game, really. So the first place you arrive at, the general store, you need some more petrol for your car, or gas for your car. So you go to the general store, but the pump's not working, so you have to go get power. You go into the general store, and the power cuts out shortly.
This is starting to sound very Outlasty to me.
Yeah, it's not very Outlasty. It's the snow's coming down. Power gets cut off. It's really heavy snow.
Stupid Canada.
Yeah. And you have to then find a generator, repair the generator, get power going. And it doesn't really... What I also like about it is it doesn't really guide you very hard. You basically, once you get to the store basically sets you up. Store gives you all the addresses of the local people. And you get marked on your map, all their houses on your map. The store also gives you some basic idea of gives you your first sort of lead. The guy in charge of the store basically says, "I'm calling in sick. You're going to have to run this," because he's the one who owned the store before, but he's been bought out by this William, whoever guy. He basically leaves a note saying, "Yeah, I'm calling in sick. You're going to have to run the store by yourself. Tough." Basically, it's clearly he's not sick. He's just basically an arsehole.
Yeah.
So that's your first lead, and then basically what you do is you go around all these people's properties in your car. You got a car, which is quite neat because you guys just store stuff in the back of it, which is kind of neat. And you go to all these people's properties, and you sort of have to try and work out what happened to them. I know it sounds stupid.
No, I just had this vision. It's you just throw the old man in the back of your car. It's do you know what happened to this man? Just pull him out of the back of the car. Look at every house you go to.
Yeah, there was very few people left.
Right.
Most of them have either been frozen or have gone, and you'll find out why they've gone. And by going to all these various properties, you basically start to piece together, and it's almost like 4 or 5 different mysteries ongoing. You've got who killed him and why. You've got what's going on, why people just being suddenly turned to ice.
Broken air conditioners.
They've literally been instantly frozen. You've got you find out about you find those little storylines all tied together neatly. And as you go on each person's properties, you tie it together even more neat and get more ideas of what's going on.
Okay,
it's really neat.
It's really Obra Dinn-y.
It's very Obra Dinn-y. Has got some. What's interesting is also added into it. It's got some survivalist elements, but we discussed about We Happy Foo, how it's got survival bits, but they don't really add anything.
Yeah,
this is sort of the opposite. It's got survival bits, and they do add anything, but not to the point of frustration.
Right.
So all you've basically got to worry about is heat, because it's freaking freezing.
Yeah, for sure.
And you basically can go set fires and so forth, and fires are your save points. When you set a fire, you heat up and it saves the game, and if you go near
Dark
it,
Souls-y thing to do.
yeah. But I think
It's the Dark Souls of walking simulators.
But it's a convenient way of doing it. It makes you have somewhere warm to stay and also save the game. You've also got things like You have a normal health bar as well. You also have a psychology sort of bar. So as you see weird stuff, it basically stresses you out. And if you get stressed out, then you'll get less accurate with your guns. It's got guns in it. The actual gun and combat is very, very Spartan.
Okay.
I think I picked up a pistol. I fired the pistol once. And the rifle I think I fired twice throughout the whole game. And that, you have got an axe. When people say the axe, the main sort of enemies, they're wolves, sort of scavenging. They'll come after you. People say, "Oh, don't bother the axe. You can't sort of your wolves will muddy with the axe." No, the wolves, one hit of the axe and kills wolves instantly. So it's just a bit like your patterns, a bit matter of timing.
Yeah, sure.
As they leave, you just whack them with the axe and they're dead. So I had no
This is
trouble.
more to people not like
Timing?
learning shit.
Yeah, I had no issues with the combat. The combat is very, and actual fact, to its credit, if you don't like that, you can switch them all. You can switch off those encounters and the options. You say don't have any, and you just have the storyline.
Okay.
So you go around and you've had this story, and it's a really, what they've done is they've really neatly, like Aberdeen, you'll find out the stories, and every building you go into, every house you go into, tells a small story, but they've really thought about it. So the way they've dressed them up, they've set them up, they looked lived in places, they feel lived in, they feel it's really good at atmosphere. The atmosphere in the game is phenomenal. A little later on it gets dark, you're out in the blizzard in the dark, and it's absolutely amazing. It is creepy, it is really essential. When you get into a building, set a fire going and so forth, and we have the oil lamps, and you set the oil lamps going, and it works so well. It really does work so well. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's took me about 4.5 hours. It's a walking simulator with a little bit of combat in it.
Sure.
If you like that sort of thing, if you like Return to Aberdeen, you'll probably like this.
I'll have to give it a go.
Yeah, you'll probably like it as well.
I believe it's on Nintendo Switch. That might be
It
where
is,
I
yes,
played
on
it.
Switch. Yeah, it got released. It went through Kickstarter and early access. It got released 2017.
All right.
So it's relatively recent. It looks quite nice. I mean, it's not it's an indie studio, so it's not, but it looks nice.
It reminds me of. It's going to sound stupid, but you know how there were loads of games that came out with mechanics like Ark? They're like, oh no, your character's cold. Oh look, your character's got to make
Survival games.
Yeah, kind of. And then you had like stuff like Long Dark.
Long Dark.
Kind of reminds me a bit of Long Dark.
Yes. Yeah, well, it's very similar. Yeah, very similar. If you think Long Dark, but if you stripped out most survival stuff and you replace that with more walking simulator stuff, and Aberdeen stuff, you're sort of in the right area, because survival stuff, all you need for fire is matches, firelighters, and some wood. And once you've lit a fire, it's lit for good.
All right.
It doesn't go out. So effectively, it's a bit like unlocking a save point.
Okay.
And to be fair, in all the houses, if you look around, you'll find matches, firelighters, and there's usually a stack of wood outside. So you're not going to have any trouble finding fires, but later on it gets there are parts later on where you are against, you are in the elements and so forth, and you have to sort of pace yourself a bit better.
Yeah.
There's some fun stuff in it. Some of the puzzles in it are rather, there's one complicated puzzle quite late on, which I actually had to get, it's to do with wiring. I had to get a pen and paper and actually have to draw the circuit diagram.
Right.
To work out how to wire it all up properly.
Okay.
But I don't spoil it and give away too many answers. But it's all once you draw it out, it makes sense.
Okay.
But by just looking at it, you couldn't do it by just looking at it on the screen. You could sort of follow it through, but it'd be a lot easier if you draw it out.
Okay.
But yeah, really, I thought it was very, very neat. The only thing I would say is it did feel a bit. It felt like they had more to do and stopped. Because you get to a bit where you think you're going somewhere and it's marching a map to go there and you're heading there, but then the game actually ends before you get there.
All right.
And it makes you feel perhaps they planned to add that in, but for whatever reason, perhaps they ran out of development time.
Yeah.
Wanted to get it out or thought it was too much, so they didn't do it.
Fair enough.
But I mean, it's got some pretty neat stuff. I mean, there's loads of stuff I missed. After I went round, after I finished the game, I normally go on TV tropes. And there's probably treasure maps in it. I didn't find a single one. I miss those completely. There's other collectibles you can find, like medallions you can find.
So you'd say there's plenty of replayability. I mean, would you be willing to go back and try and find it, or does it not really add?
I'm probably not got any interest in going back and playing it again at the moment. Because once you know, the part of the fun is working out what happened, and now I know what happened. I'm not sure I've got any interest in going back.
Okay, so there's no real additionals to. Okay,
I'm not a sort of gamer, gentlemen. In general, there are exceptions, but I'm generally, once I've done the main story, unless the side quests are interesting, I'm not interested in like little collection quests and so forth. I'm not really bothered by that. All you get is an achievement. I'm not fussed.
No, me either.
Life's too short to spend another 2-3 hours getting on the side quests.
I
could spend those 2 hours on another game.
Yeah.
So I don't usually bother.
I do the exact same thing.
No. Some games I do. I mean, Far Cry's. I've 100% of the Far Cry's I've played.
Yes, I can do that.
But I like them enough to do it.
Sure. Game has to be super hardcore to make me want 100% it.
I've only ever 100%ed one GTA, which was Vice City. But I've never 100%. I've not 100% any other GTA at all.
Maybe 3.
Yeah, I've not done. I think I've not done any of the others at all. I've just got no interest.
Never did it with a Far Cry 3 style, I guess. I think I could be lying here though, because I'm not entirely sure. So one of the other podcasts, the Far Cry clone career.
Homefront
Revolution. I did near enough everything I could in that because I fucking loved that game. Which is odd because I played Far Cry 3 like directly afterwards and was like, eh. So, but it's very rare for a game to make me want to sit down and play it to the point that I want to 100% it or break someone's face in the process.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's so. Yeah, it's currently available. I will say this has got a VR version as well.
Oh, right.
So on Steam, it's currently £13.
Platforms.
For PC based, Windows, Apple, and Steam.
Oh, so cool. So it's on Windows, Mac, and Linux.
Yeah. If you buy the VR version, it's Windows only. The VR version is only £3 more.
All right.
So, actual fact, that's fair. That's fair. £3 more, you get and you get the normal game as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's fucking rad.
Yeah, it's a normal game plus the VR version, so you get 2 games basically for £3 more.
Go for the fucking VR version. Goddamn.
Yeah. So there we are. So that's Kona.
I'm gonna have to give that a crack actually, like a proper crack, because I got up to the shop and I saw the old boy was proper boned.
As I was playing, I thought this would have been an ideal game to play on our 24-hour live stream. Because it's about the right length, about 5.5 hours, but that would have been ideal.
Yeah.
To play, but too late now.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I think give it. I mean, if you like, it depends if you like walking simulators or not. I like those sort of games. I do. I like
the environment.
Yeah, it's very atmospheric. I like games where you don't really have to worry about combat or anything for a while. You can just enjoy it. It's a bit like I do enjoy more complicated films, but sometimes I want just to watch an action film.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to sit there and veg out and just enjoy the explosions. And
So I like Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, but I also like watching the old Pacific Rim. And sometimes it's nice to just watch Pacific Rim and not have to worry about thinking too much.
Yeah.
And likewise, walking simulators, you don't really have to think that much. You can just sort of enjoy. Although I did find myself thinking, hang on a second, what's going on here?
Well, in fairness, it's like I quite liked Dear Esther back when it came out, but fuck me, it's boring as balls. But it's neat, it's pretty, it's an environment that you kind of enjoy just walking around and looking at.
Yeah.
I also
the environment's got to be interesting.
Yeah. I also liked Dear Esther Band, which was just a piss take of Dear Esther. Fucking hilarious. You ever played Dear Esther Band?
No.
You gotta do it, mate. It's fucking... You're walking along and all of a sudden you'll see like this giant motorcycle just fly past in the background. It makes no sense. If I had to guess what an acid trip was like, it's Dear Esther Band. I'm like, what the fuck did I just see? And it's a walking simulator, so that was all right. Some of them are alright. Stuff like Gone Home and that doesn't interest me. There's too much fiddle faffing around in those to really be for me.
Gone Home works well because they've done the smart thing. They've tried to replicate a very specific time. So in that case, it was 90s.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, Shenmue did that kind of thing years and years and years ago. So like, you could go through and you could open your cupboards and you could make notes on things that you found dotted about people's houses and that. But Shenmue was fun.
Yeah, but I think it's more like they've done the little things like it's all the little details and like Gone Home. I like so when you go in, you find like the 3CR tapes, and it's got something. It's someone's recordable tape, and so written there. It's got all scratched through, and something else has been written underneath, and they've gradually scratched through and written stuff in smaller and smaller writing, as they've obviously re-recorded it over it again and again and again.
Yeah.
And there's little things that make it feel like I thought I remember doing that. As it just made it feel like a lived-in place. It felt like an actual place. This does the same thing. They feel like real places.
Sure. I also shouldn't really compare Gone Home and Shenmue because one of them is a full-blown RPG and the other one is a walking simulator. But then, technically, there's only really one way to go through Shenmue, so...
I've got Shenmue 1 and 2 now.
Dude, play them. It's technically... I mean, it's one of the first really kind of open-worldy RPGs out there. It is very walking simulator-y. You know, you can go wherever you want, though. But the aim of the game is to really solve a specific puzzle. But please give it a go.
Cool.
You'll probably hate it, but give it a go.
I'll give it a go.
Me and Bard actually finished Shenmue 1 a couple months back.
Oh,
It was fun.
I'll give it a go.
Do it. You'll hate it, but do it.
So finally finish off. Maybe we'll talk about TV. Now
Is it foreign?
No. Well, it's American, so technically yes.
Yeah.
So yes, but it's got a British guy in it.
Villain?
Mate, not a good guy.
What?
Yes.
No, I don't know. You're talking.
Watching,
No, Ram, right now you're talking shit. The Americans would never put a British person as
This
a
is
good
a
guy.
beloved British role, although actually his character is French. So I'm not playing. Been
I was
watching.
going to say you're playing
watching.
it. You're playing a British guy as a French guy in an American show.
Amazon's Picard.
Oh, right.
So spoiler alert for the first episode. The first episode was my, for anyone who's not listening, the episode was my little giveaway freebie.
Spoiler alert, Jean-Luc Picard's in it.
Yeah, he is. And there's also, and spoiler for the first episode, there's also chubby Data in it. Brett Spencer's, but he's got a bit chubby, so it's chubby Data.
Yeah.
He's big Data.
Good job. He's with the times.
He's with the times. So it's set 20 years after the last Nemesis, which was the last. So for those who aren't aware, there are two Star Trek timelines. You've got the Prime timeline, which is they all start. You have Enterprise in both timelines. You get Kirk in the original series. You've then got Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, this new one, all the first run of films, and Picard. I know this one, Picard, are all in the Prime timeline, the first timeline. At some point during the Prime timeline, a supernova goes off near Romulus, which are the evil Vulcans. That destroys Romulus. Spock tries to stop it and ends up getting sent back in past and changes the past and creates an alternative timeline, which is what the J.J. Abrams films are setting.
No, I was going to say, was there not some random fluff that made him a bit... I can't really think of the word, but yeah, the thing that explains why things are so...
Spock fucks it up, basically.
Yeah.
He goes back in time. He ends up killing Kirk's father in the J.J. Abrams time frame. He fucks it all up, which is why it's all so different and so far off. And that's why they're versions. That's the versions.
Excuses.
Yeah. So, but this is in the Prime time. So and at the end of Nemesis, Data gets killed. That's the big spoiler in Nemesis. That's a very old film.
How could you?
It's a very old film. Sorry,
What about the children?
If you're a Star Trek fan, you'd have seen it know by now.
You should have known from the moment you were born. That was the first thing your family should have told you.
Data dies. We need to set you up for this now. Data dies at some point. And I was really upset because I liked Data. He was my favourite character and he died.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is set in... So 20 years after. Now, this sort of fills in a little bit what happened after the Romulus... Because we actually don't know actually what happened because it's never revealed. Turns out, in the intervening years since Data died, Starfleet had worked on making their synthetics, their own version of androids. They started deploying them and using them, and they're very rudimentary compared to Data, but they have some degree of, and they're not totally dumb, but they're not fully sentient. And they're working on these androids, and at some point, whilst the Romulus is being destroyed with a supernova, on Mars, which is where the shipyards are, they build their ships. The civilians there all go mad and kill and basically, effectively render Mars uninhabitable. They destroy the shipyards, basically cause all the atmosphere to burn up. Mars becomes completely uninhabitable. That's their dockyards all gone. They really hit some hammer blow. At that point, Starfleet bans all research into artificial intelligence synthetics. Bans the lot.
Okay.
Because they don't want another rise up, which Picard wasn't happy about because he thinks that was a short-sighted thing to do. And also they pull off the rescue of Romulus, which Picard was really not happy about because he'd arranged to evacuate all these civilians from Romulus and they didn't. So only a few escaped and got out there, and a few sort of listening posts escaped. So this is set 20 years later. Then about roughly 20 years after that all happened. Picard's retired. He left as a result of this. He was very upset he left. He's now retired in his vineyard. And in another part of the world in Star Trek, there's this girl. She has a boyfriend, and she's just chatting. She's just got out into the Dacian Institute, where all the smart people go. It's like their version of CERN.
Okay.
Basically, the top smart people go to CERN. In Star Trek, they go to the Dacian Institute. She gets accepted to go there. Sure, she gets there. These people suddenly teleport into her apartment, and they touch her. She's not activated yet, and they try and subdue her and kill her boyfriend. She then also just goes absolutely doesn't know. She just goes local and takes the whole lot and kills the whole lot of them.
Okay.
Doesn't know how she does it. She then has a vision of Picard while she's sort of recovering from what she's just done. She doesn't know how she did this. She then has this vision of Picard, sees him on the news, and basically goes see him.
Right.
And he meets up, and basically, and this is the big spoiler for the first episode, we find out that she's effectively, not technically, but effectively Data's daughter.
Right.
She was probably made using some of Data's remains, has managed to create her. She is Data's daughter. She gets killed during the first episode, but it turns out the process that creates these daughters always does them in pairs. So Picard wants to basically go and look for A, the guy who created her, and B, find the other version of her before the same group of people who got to her gets to this other one as well. And
that's gonna be a fun one to explain.
Yeah, it is. And I was a bit dubious when I first heard that old, Patrick Stewart's coming back to be Picard. I thought, a bit dubious. How are they going to pay this one off? Are they going to sort of he's still Starship Captain? How are they going to explain that? And no, they don't. He's fully retired. He's left Starfleet, and they're going to, and he has to sort of he's trying to get his big issue. The first two episodes is they won't let him have a ship. He left Starfleet in bad blood. They don't want him anymore.
Yeah, sure.
He's an admiral. They don't want him anymore, and he's got to get back and set up a crew and go out of space and find this out. I was really impressed with how good it was. I was expecting the worst, if I'm honest. I was expecting it to be a bad series. And you do when you hear about these sort of prequel, they bring the old character back in, you think they're not going to be great. But I was very surprised, very pleasantly surprised at how good it was.
In fairness, it's one of those prime originals, isn't it?
Yeah.
They couldn't take a series like Star Trek and fuck it up, especially not with a character.
Well,
like
Netflix
Picard.
did the Star Trek Discovery.
It's Netflix. Fuck Netflix. What the fuck does Netflix know? Anything Netflix has is comedy specials.
Yeah. Well, I will say there's a lot of humour in this. A lot of visual humours. I don't want to spoil the visual humours because a lot happened in the second episode. Actually, I'll spoil just one. So Captain Picard goes back to Starfleet headquarters. He walks in, he goes up, and he goes, "I'm here for an appointment." And the guy behind the thing doesn't recognise him. So he says, "Can I take your name?" He goes, "Oh, Picard, John Luke." And he goes, "Oh, welcome back, Admiral." And hands him a visitor's badge. He sticks it up, visitor's badge. And you can just see it looking like, "Oh, really? I've got to wear a visitor's badge as I go around." And it's full of lots of little bits of humour there. I mean, it's definitely setting up for. You can feel it's setting up for a lot of potential plot threads. It is honestly, I was surprised how good it was. It's a good series when the first episode and second episode fly by. You don't realise it's like that's already the end.
Yeah,
we've got to the end of the episode
you
already.
Want more?
Yeah, and Amazon are doing this weekly. They've not released the whole lot in one go. They're releasing weekly, which I can't say if I like or don't like. I tend to like binge watching stuff when something's been released, but at the same time, it's nice to look forward to something.
Yeah, I did. The last time I did that with a show was, well, two actually. Mr. Robot. I quite enjoyed doing that, and I was biting through tables to watch the next episode of that.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen series 4, so
yeah.
Can't comment on that one.
I've heard it's very good.
Before that,
I'm still struggling on season 2.
Before that was Phantasy Star Online, the anime.
Oh right, yeah.
I would literally sit there and wait for the fan translations to drop, like every Wednesday. I was like, "Come on, I've been fucking waiting all night. Where is it?"
I've been doing that at Bear Claw Saw.
All right.
I look forward to. I can't wait for because it's next. Their next season starts next month.
All right.
Because they're going to do, I think that's season 5. I think, yes, it's season 5, and they're going to end in season 6.
Okay.
So I've got 2 more seasons left, and they're going to wrap it all up.
I want to throw that there's nothing quite like looking forward to a TV show. There's just nothing quite like it.
In the world of binging, I've sort of missed it. I do like binging as well. I mean, I watched, and I won't talk about this because this has got major spoilers. The final season of Bojack Horseman released yesterday, which is one I got into a couple of years ago, and the final season released yesterday because they split the last season to 2 halves.
Yeah.
So it's 16 episodes, but they split the first 8, came out just before Christmas, and the last 8 dropped yesterday. I binged for the whole lot because I want to get to the finale.
Can I just thought that I can't watch Bojack Horseman?
No?
I can't watch it. Right. Coming from a guy that would happily watch an anime about fucking big-titted superhero maids from another fucking planet, I can't watch Bojack Horseman. It just doesn't sit with me. It just seems too stupid.
I thought that's what I did to watch it for so long. And then when I saw people constantly praise it, say it's really good, when it started getting awards for like the best animated show of the year, that sort of thing, I thought I'm going to check this out. And the first season, where it's finding its feet, is kind of ropey. But that for the first half at least. By the time you get to the end of the season, though, I just wanted more.
So I was sick of it by the time I got through the first half.
Yeah, the first half is definitely weak.
Sure.
But they find their feet. If you struggle through the first half and get to the second half, they find their feet, they find their groove. And you get to realise you realise actually how this show is, because it's a mixture of comedy and seriousness.
Yeah.
And it's praised because it's one of the most realistic depictions of depression in TV shows.
Yeah.
And it is, having known people have had depression, having lived with someone who's had depression, it's
currently suffering with chronic depression.
Yeah, it's scarily accurate in how they do it, and they do it in a very respectful. The best way I can phrase it, they do it in a way that makes it, people who watch it say, "Yeah, that's just like me," and gives people hope. But yeah, the final season ended yesterday, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't like the last episode.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to give my reasonings why, because that'll be a spoiler. But I wasn't. I enjoyed it right to the penultimate episode. The last episode I didn't like.
Okay.
But I'm not going to say why. It's too early because it's only been out a day. I'm not going to say why because I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But yeah. So
let us know if you agree with Ram.
Yeah, if anyone watched this, and we've got no viewers at the moment, so hey.
Yeah. Hopefully I'm streaming it to the right place.
Well, it's coming through to the right places, so it's obviously something's going right.
I should I should probably announce Rad Nerds more often, to be fair. But then, that said, I have 1,600 subscribers on YouTube. No one watches any of my stuff anymore. So...
Oh, well.
Oh, well.
Oh, well.
Fuck them.
You hear that, subscribers? Fuck you.
And then, you end up having...
Fuck you, the data packet you rode in on.
That's it, you bastards. But then you end up having, like, someone doing a D&D fucking podcast, and all of a sudden they've got, like, 40 views within 30 seconds. It's like, you fucking assholes. It's not even a good campaign. You can't even set your gear up right. Anyway.
You're not bitter at all, are you, Skazz?
Never.
Oh, yeah, so that's my favourite card. So, yeah, really enjoying it. I can't wait for the next episode.
I don't even think Inky's noticed it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Star Trek is one of the few space-themed things that she can watch.
Is it?
She hates space anything.
Really?
Space makes her feel horribly insignificant. So she doesn't like watching anything.
Don't watch The Expanse.
she doesn't like watching space-themed stuff. She won't even eat space-themed food.
Right.
Like
See,
Milky Way, galaxy, stuff like that.
That's part of the reason why I love space stuff, because it is just so mind-bogglingly big, and that we're just this tiny, tiny little dot, and the grand scheme we're nothing.
Yeah.
Just space. I just love that.
Mm-hmm. But no matter what happens here, it's irrelevant.
Yeah, and but so much happens here. So much, political intrigue, both large scale and small scale, and drama happens. Culture, and there's not just one culture, there's not 200 odd cultures.
Yeah, but it
300 odd
means...
cultures, but it means nothing.
Yeah.
But that nothing is a lot.
Yeah.
And it just makes me think there's another planet, and there's got to be. I fully believe we're not the only intelligent species in this galaxy.
That'd be daft to think.
Yeah. And if they're coming here, I strongly doubt it. But there must be.
Want to come here?
I fear if they came here, they'd soon leave.
They'd be like, "Oh shit, mate." And off they go.
I have this feeling that we finally get into galactic space and we come across these other aliens. They go, "Hiya, yeah." He said, "Yeah, oh yeah, this is welcome to our Federation." Oh, okay, yeah. He said, "Yeah, we've known about you guys for quite some time, have you? Yeah, we just didn't want to talk to you."
I was like, Trump, Trump, really?
No, not Trump. Just you guys in general. We've watched you since like the 1800s, and to be honest,
antibiotics, good idea.
Yeah, but we did those ages ago.
Well, we thought you were a fun little project. But,
yeah. I mean, it took you guys like sort of 20. It took you guys like to 2,000, like 8,000 years to get into space. We did it in 10.
I mean, have you guys seen how much shit you've left in space? I mean, come on, guys. You can't. Not only do you trash your own planet, you're fucking up space too.
Yeah, and we went and visited Mars, and you've littered that as well with robots.
Like, for Christ's sakes, and they're crap.
Oh. Poor Pathfinder when he died.
Fucking bless. Fucking the rest of everything else. The rest of everything is just like they treat us like we treat North Korea.
How do you feel to the fact that NASA made sure the Curiosity was able to take selfies?
I am now really disappointed.
It can take its camera, turn around and take a photo of itself.
I am really...
No one put a Snapchat filter on.
NASA, let me know, please. I'd like you to quote me happy on this one, please.
I think the rest of the galaxy feels so. You know how like we see those like little indigenous tribes, and we look at them, and we go, "Isn't it wonderful? They've still their own little culture and stuff. We won't go and turn them. We won't go and disturb them and let them know too much about us. We just want to leave them as they are. We won't tell them. We'll just do thing. We won't freak them out by flying a plane near them. Even though we give them a lot better quality of life. I mean, antibiotics. They wouldn't die if they got scratched by a small tiger one time. We could do that for, but we won't because it's nice to have a primitive tribe. That's basically the galaxy sees us.
Yeah, pretty much. Are we fair? We should really stop spreading things like antibiotics. We need less people. Less people. Honestly.
Stop own diagnosing for the full stop would just make be a good start.
Christ. Just look, people, please. You're not important. Just let it go. Just do me a favour. It's going to get really dark, right? Just go away. Go find something that's likely to fail and just go away.
Skazz, do you know? I'm keen to understand why you get so few views and followers. If you tell people to go away and you're insignificant,
look,
we should be saying, "Hey, Space Rabbit 269, you're cool. Be our patron." Yeah.
Look, Look, the problem is, though, we've got so many little groups that think they're out to save the world, but none of it's going to work because there's too many people. There's too many people, so just pick one and get rid of them.
I agree with you. Our biggest issue in our planet, the thing that would solve all our problems, would be depopulation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying we go out killing people. I'm not saying that, although a good world war would certainly help.
Yeah, for sure.
As long as it's not nuclear.
Then you'd have a bit of a problem if it was. Like, see all that stuff we could have used? It's not there anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. We thought we could depopulate by using war, but we did use all the nuclear bombs, chemical weapons, so we can't go anywhere, and relatively those biological plagues. So we're all gonna die anyway.
What's left? Scunthorpe. Please tell me you at least got rid of Yarmouth. We did. Fuck yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, Great Yarmouth? Oh, that Yarmouth. No.
Oh, shit. Still there. No! Don't worry about low stuff that's underwater. Yes.
Yeah. Don't worry, the moon's got to come from somewhere.
We're on a boat.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No, we are. The planet is overpopulated. I was actually looking up random numbers about realistically how many people can the planet handle, like sustainably. Like
it's about 4 billion, I think.
We are cruising over it and growing ridiculously fast. By the time I'm dead, it's too late. It's too late. It's great. We are all doomed, and you're all we're all fighting each other because of stupid little things. We're wearing like different coloured hats to one another or something, or we're all eating different kinds of kale, or I don't know. You're not saving the world by eating grass or fucking wearing this different hat.
Skazz, if all they ate was grass, they'd die. You're saving the world by eating grass.
Keep doing that. Keep doing what it is you're doing, but don't you dare go after them supplements, because if you do, you're annoying me.
Supplements. You're not a true grassian if you take supplements.
See, that's it. Go.
I mean, vegans, they don't count. They're not real. They're not real.
They're not real. Is that one of the things
they don't care for the planet food? Proper people are grassians, and all they eat is grass.
Just grass.
Just grass. They go and graze.
If you eat anything else with flavour.
If we train people to eat grass enough and got them to eat all the grass, eventually they mutate to a subspecies that was different enough from us. We could start farming them instead.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then we could get rid of all the cows and the sheep and the pigs.
I've actually had this chat with vegans, vegetarians, and all that. It's like, you guys do know, you're telling us all to go vegan, go vegetarian. It'll save the world and all that, save the animals. Well, most of those animals are going to die if we don't farm them anyway, because they're horribly.
Species will die out.
Yeah, they're domesticated. They can't survive.
Sheep
without
can't survive not on farms.
And the problem is, even if you went entirely plant-based, there is no fucking way you could realistically feed the current population on just green shit.
You'd have to plough up all your grass fields and put them into production. Because grass, the reason it's not just with humans, is a problem. However, sheep eat it and turn that grass into meat.
Mm-hmm.
That's a useful solution.
Yep.
So they are very good at turning something that we can't eat into something that we can eat.
So
which is the whole reason we farm in the first place.
Subprime farmland, so like something that you can't actually realistically grow things on.
But goats can live on it. Yeah. So you put like if you use sheep, you put something like boolers on it, which can live off such poor grass, or Highland cows can live on virtually nothing. Mm-hmm. And you put them on this really grass that we can't touch. And some of these grass, like nature reserves and stuff, that we can't farm or do anything with. Mm-hmm. The cattle manage it by eating it, and the sheep manage it by eating it down and so forth, and they refertilise it because it all gets put out the other end. Mm-hmm. The byproducts, and that just refertilises, keeps the cycle going and everything. And it's great. It works. It's a great way of growing stuff. If you didn't have animals and we had a more plant-based diet, you'd have to increase your production of all your plant-based stuff, which means all these fields filled with grass would have to be ploughed up and turned into vegetable fields.
Another thing, seasonal foods.
Yes.
Does my goddamned head in.
Yeah, the amount of energy we expend on growing tomatoes is horrendous. Mm-hmm. Because they have to be heated. Just...
Did you hear that shock horror there?
Just go back to, Tomatoes, you don't need tomatoes all year round. You don't need them.
Nope.
You don't need potatoes all year
Treat
round.
them as a luxury.
Yeah. I had a red onion. I bought a red onion that came from Spain. Why? Why have we had to import red onion from Spain?
And the question, how much did it cost?
About 17 pence.
How the fuck do you realistically grow a red onion in Spain? Like fucking
So,
plug it up, put it on a plane, and get it over here and sell it for profit. By the way,
yeah, supermarkets made a profit on that. The importers made a profit on that. The exporters made a profit on that. The farmer has made a profit on that. How? It's just quantity.
It's insanity.
It's like chicken. It's why chicken is so cheap. Is that they work on pennies a bird, but they produce so many thousands upon thousands and thousands. And I actually thought I would actually agree with getting rid of. It would mean you get rid of cheap pork and cheap chicken, but I'm not a fan of factory farming.
No,
I don't like it. But if you want,
that must be so soul crushing.
We've done a commercial farm, pig farming. I've done that, and it is horrible. I don't like it. I'd quite happily actually ban it, but it would mean goodbye cheap pork.
Yeah.
The reason we can buy a pack of sausages for £2.50 is because we do this big commercial farming. It would all go, and you'd be paying at least another £2, at least probably another £1 or £2 on top of the price of that.
It should be a luxury, as meat always has been.
Yeah.
Meat has never been a majority of the human diet, but now we can just go and pick it up and it's a problem.
Yeah.
We're mismanaging everything.
Yeah, and commercial farms are very intensive, and I don't like them. I don't know a lot of people who do. A lot of farmers don't like them. They do them because it's money.
Yeah.
And that's where the money is.
Shamefully.
Same with commercial poultry production. I've not met anybody who likes.
Vile.
Yeah, it's horrendous.
Hands up, I couldn't do it.
I've never met a person who I've met lots of people who've worked on poultry farms. I've never met one who said they enjoyed working on a poultry farm. I've worked in poultry units. I do not enjoy. I would not go back there voluntarily.
Yeah, couldn't do it.
If that was the only job left, and I need the money, then yes,
push. Yeah, it'd still be a push.
But no, if that was all I had left, I would have to go. But honestly, I'm a meat eater. I love meat.
Me too.
But it doesn't mean I can't stand back and go, actually, some of the ways we do this are wrong.
Agreed. We have some friends that are militant vegans. But the trouble is, I tend to find, one, when you think of vegan, you think of the gobshite. And two, when you look at things from a wider point of view, none of us are right.
No.
None of us are right because no one is willing to admit that we are the problem. It's not eating meat that's the problem. It's not that we need a plant-based diet. It's that there are too fucking many of us and we're breeding like rabbits.
Yeah.
There just isn't enough. But because we're tribal. Oh yeah, man, it's great. I'm a vegan. Oh yeah, I'm a carnivore. I'm going like full carnivore, or I'm just average Joe.
Omnivore.
It's stupid because we have to have these silly little labels.
Yeah.
As if we're saving the world, but we're not.
Yeah, you're right. It's tribalism. It's everybody likes to put themselves into categories, and some of these categories are harmless. I mean, there is nothing inherently wrong with being a vegan. I've got nothing against a vegan.
Nope.
What I have got against is when they start trying to tell me how to live my life.
Agreed.
When they start trying to say, they can have an opinion. They say, it's one thing to say, I disagree with factory farming, X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
If they want to come actually start calling me evil because I farm things, no, that's not on.
I got called a fucking Nazi sympathiser and a fascist for my opinions. It was great.
Marvellous.
Yeah, it's fucking brilliant.
But do you not find that as soon as someone calls me that, I just
shut him down.
I say, if you're going to start just throwing names around, as far as I'm concerned, your opinion is rubbish.
Yeah,
your opinion's not even worth listening to. If you want to have a rational discussion, fine. But if you're going to start throwing around it, we do. I mean, we do it all the time. We call people. Oh, you're part of the Gamergate group. Oh, you're a feminazi. Oh, you're an SJW.
Yeah.
We stick all these labels on people, and it's basically a way of instantly dismissing them.
Yeah.
Rather than actually listening to them and saying, I'm happy to listen to people and say, actually, you've got a point. But they've got to be able to listen back.
Yeah, for sure.
And
They have to be willing to be challenged. If they want to challenge me, they have to be able to take it on the chin themselves.
And they've also got to be able to back up what they say. Don't just give out bullshit information. You know, don't just. And there's a lot of this vegan stuff, which makes you angry. A lot of it's the information they put out there is absolutely it's just pulled from their asses. It's bullshit.
Have you got an example or?
Well, the fact that they feel we could all go onto a plant-based diet is pulled from your asses. They will do things. I've seen videos where some animal rights group, they say they're quite vegans, but they presumably all are vegans, reported a farmer to the RSPCA, friend of friend, but he was treating his pigs cruelly and so forth.
Still within regulation, I'm sure.
Well, no, they were bad. The fetus was bad, and any pig farmer would not be happy with the way they've been treated. RSPCA came on his site. He was getting all stressed out because he got notes. He's going to investigate by the RSPCA and all this sort of stuff. And he thought, what have I done wrong? I don't think I've done it. I thought we did everything illegal. We look after.
Yeah, they're doing
animals.
it by the book. They're doing it as much as they need to do.
They come onto their site and they show him the footage, and he goes, "That's not our farm." And the guy feels, well, they've told us this is your farm, and they've filmed this secretly and so forth. He goes, come up to our buildings, and he went up to the building and said, no, our walls are all made of metal, the videos are all made of wood. It's not our farm. They've deliberately just given you false information knowingly. There's no way they could have made that mistake. They know they gave him his address. They knew it's farm. They just give him the BSP. This farm. Oh, he's treating animals cruelly.
I will say that's
bullshit.
That's where I tend to draw the line with any group. If you purposely attack the lowest of the group, so for example, and farmers aren't low. You know, I have respect for farmers because I think farmers should be elevated higher.
You mean low on the tray, the supply chain?
On the pecking order. You know, when you start to attack farmers, clerks in shops, things like that, I have serious fucking beef. Because as an example, you've got a problem with, I don't know, Starbucks, Sports Direct, something like that. And then you go and actively attack Starbucks retail group, you know, Sports Direct, McDonald's, whatever. The only people you are realistically hurting at this point are the poor fuckers that are working in the stores at the lowest level. Fucking big boy businessman with his suit and his yacht doesn't give a flying fuck if you have to close half the stores in the country. They've made their money. The only people getting hurt are the people at the bottom. Cut it the fuck out. Unless your movement is big enough, and I mean this, unless your movement is literally big enough to crush the entire company in one move, cut it the fuck out. Unless Big Boy's going to get hurt.
But they won't, because they're all limited companies. They all get paid off. They won't. The people at the top never get hurt. They control. The people at the top are the ones who have all the people in power. And they control the systems. They set systems up so they are protected. They are protected. Limited companies. The people at the top don't get hurt.
And there you go.
Big boy CEO. He walks out. He gets shut down. He walks out of job. He gets his golden handcuffs and he goes to another job tomorrow.
Look at all the bankers.
No one gets hurt. Those people don't get hurt. It's always people at the bottom that get hurt or get trampled on. I'll give you another example of movies. This was one that there's now taken to protesting outside slaughterhouses. They'll actually try and stop vehicles going to slaughterhouses with animals on board. Now, one example, French, I mean, these people, there was a lorry, an Arctic lorry coming down, right? He's fully laden, so he's got 3 tiers of pigs, okay? This processor jumps out in front of him. Stands right in front of him. He has to slam his brakes on, still hits this guy, right? All the comments, look, this lorry driver hit our protester. He rammed our protester. He couldn't bloody stop.
No.
And what's worse, what do you think? He's having his brakes on hard. What do you think happened to every single pig in that lorry?
No.
Thump to the back. They're all now going to be injured, or could someone be injured? And they're probably now in pain, and they're just distressed, all because one idiot thought it'd be a good idea to jump in front of this lorry.
But they don't think of that.
And I feel if I'd been that lorry, I'd just kept on going and run them over.
Yeah, one human versus all. Don't get me wrong. right? I know we're talking about taking pigs to slaughter at this point. Yes, they're all going to die, but they're going to suffer more after that accident leading to slaughter than just going straight into the slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
Realistically. Please, I know you think you've got a great idea. We'll go let all the chickens out of whatever. Don't do it.
Let's talk about it like adults.
Mm-hmm.
Doing that sort of thing's what kids do.
Yeah, I like to explain to people with this kind of stuff. When you're part of a little group, think of the world as a pie chart, right? And we're going to split it into thirds. You've got your group, the group you're against, and then average Joe. To average Joe, both groups...
Arseholes.
Yeah, you are no different from the other group, except you're wearing maybe a different hat.
Yeah.
You know, you are just as much of a jackass as the other one. You're opinionated, you're loud, you're annoying. Go the fuck away. Stop acting like you're actually converting these people. You're not. It's not an us and them war.
No.
There's more to it than that.
We can have rational debate about this.
Yeah.
But that's one thing. And saying, actually, we disagree with farming and all pig farming, all that, that's fine. I've got nothing against it. You can have your voice.
Mm-hmm.
But when you start actually going down a process, people doing what they are legally entitled to do,
mm-hmm.
when you start processing these people, when you start jumping in front of their vehicles,
Yeah.
which are their private, so often they're their private vehicles. They're not owned by a company half the
Mm-hmm.
time. They're their private vehicles. When we go outside, it's a private vehicle.
Yeah.
You're hurt. That's not going to make them change their job. They're not going to quit because of you.
No.
But you're just making them angry, and what you're basically doing is you're stirring up tension, and
You're more likely to make enemies than friends.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, but we're converting 1 or 2 people. It's like, yeah, but you're making more people think you're a jackass.
Yeah.
It's happening on both sides. Stop wasting people's time doing it that way.
Behave yourselves. Act like reasonable adults.
Mm-hmm. Sit down
Is
and
that
have a conversation.
really that hard to ask?
Well, of course it is these days.
Apparently it is. So, anyway, that's my rant so far on vegan. I just want to say, I've got nothing against. If you want to be vegan, fine. Vegetarian, fine. If you want to be grassarian, fine. If you want to think you want to be one of these crazy people who believe they can live on oxygen, go for it. You reduce the population, marvelous.
Yep.
Just don't, for stars, lie to people to try and get into contact with your cause.
Yeah.
And don't just start shouting, embracing, and calling people evil because they have a different opinion to you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't. I'm going to respect your opinion. You've gone for the moral choice and decided, no, eating fruit meat is not for me. I've gone for the same debate with myself. You've gone for the same debate with yourself. And we've decided eating meat's fine for us.
Yep.
I respect your decision. I'm going to let you have your decision. I'm not going to impede your decision. You respect mine.
Yep.
And actually, I'm going to go out here and say, I think the vast majority of vegetarians and vegans are like that. But it's the ones you find, the ones you come across, they're the vocal or minority who sound louder than they are.
Shamefully, even the ones that I know, whilst wonderful people, when it comes to their diet, you're going to hell.
I know a fair few vegetarians,
Mm-hmm.
and honestly, I've never had an issue with any of them.
Mm-hmm.
We've chatted, we've talked. They even come and talk to me about what you do on the farm this week. And we discuss what's going on. All has business, all going well. A couple of them will say, "Oh, that's good."
Mm-hmm.
We talk like adults.
Yeah, for sure.
I've only encountered probably. I mean, perhaps I think the group. I think the other thing is when you have one person, they tend to attract others like them. So if you know one person like that, they tend to group together all the others as well, and it just takes one bad apple to spoil the.
And that's shamefully the issue I've had with most groups. They're all fucking city slickers that have no idea what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah.
They think that their way is right. There is no other way. And if you don't agree with them, like I said, I got called a Nazi. I got called a Nazi sympathizer and all that stuff. I was like, really? For that? You kidding me?
For starters, that's a massive disrespect to all the people the Nazis killed, because I think all the Jewish people got marched to their deaths will be very happy the fact that you're comparing them to factory farming. I think they'd be very happy about that.
There was more to it, but I'll have to tell you about it off podcast, to be fair.
Okay.
But it was either way. It was still, I mean, to make that leap was pretty not cool. It instantly discredited everything that they were talking about.
Yep, it does.
So I was just like, you know what, lads, if you just want to be aggro
Godwin's
with me,
law. As soon as you compare someone to Nazi, A, you've lost the argument, and B, the argument's over anyway because no one's going to bother to respond at that point.
Yep.
Anyway, we probably better wrap up on that note. So thank you for listening to Ram and Skazz ramp on about vegans and
that's
so
staying
forth.
in.
That's fine. You can leave it in.
keeping it
It's fine. Thank you very much. So we'll see you in a fortnight on the 15th of February.
Oh my God, it's getting close.
No, it's a fortnight away. Oh yes.
Yeah, the other one. I've got a busy day.
That's not.
The 29th is a busy day.
It's a busy day. Yes, that's not. Is that public yet, or is that?
No, it isn't.
All right. Well, that'll get revealed at some point in the future.
Oh God.
You chose a podcast day. I don't know why you did that.
Yeah, I know. It's dumb of me, and I should have thought about it.
So, farewell, children. I'm TheSuffolkRam.
Skazz, yes.
And we'll look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks' time.
Take it easy, guys.
Bye. The pain.